Comic Palooza is almost here. It's going down June 20th to the 22nd at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Comic Palooza is a must-do for me every summer. You have comic book fans, movie fans, wrestling fans, anime fans, and so many other fandoms, usually dressed up in their best costumes, all under one roof for Texas's biggest pop culture fest. And once you're inside, there is so much to do, like celebrity panels, interactive experiences, tons of exhibitors, and more. Check it all out and buy your tickets now at comicpalooza.com/CityCastHouston. Smashing those protein goals can be hard, but one way I start my day is with a high-protein breakfast featuring Jones Dairy Farm's chicken sausage. Jones Dairy Farm makes premium crafted meat products such as all-natural breakfast sausage, available in pork, chicken and turkey, and center-cut Canadian bacon. 100% of their products are made in the USA with materials sourced primarily from the Midwest. Jones Dairy Farm products are available at most grocery stores, including Costco, and you can find them in a store near you at jonesdairyfarm.com. Today on CityCast Houston, nothing says summer in H-Town like sipping a cold margarita in the shade. So today I'm playing back our guide to the best margs in Houston. From frozen to on the rocks, producer Carlignon Jones gets a scoop from Houstonia Magazine's food editor, Sofia Gonzalez. It's Wednesday, June 11th. I'm Rahil Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Take it away, Carly.
Hey, Sophia. So happy to have you back here at CityCast Houston. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this conversation today because we're about to talk about one of my favorite summer drinks. But before we get into this conversation about the best margaritas around Houston, I want to go ahead and give listeners a note that we want to encourage you to always drink responsibly, okay? Like, I know y'all have heard that 1,000 times, but it is important. And we want to make sure that when you go and have these drinks that you have someone that's a DD, which is like, someone to take you home in case, So make sure you're driving responsibly or call a cab or anything like that. So definitely make sure you're drinking responsibly when you're going out to enjoy these summertime margaritas. But let's hop right into the conversation. So I want to ask you personally, when it comes to margaritas, are you more of a on the rocks kind of girl or do you like a frozen?
So funny enough, I am an on the rocks type of girl, but I will say that my favorite one is a frozen one here in Houston. So I kind of contradict myself there.
Okay. So anywhere else you're taking on the rocks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. All right. So for me, I also like both, but I'm more of a frozen girl sometimes. It just kind of depends on my mood. I do like frozen margaritas just because they kind of last longer, I feel like you can sit there and you can chill and eat and you don't have to like rush through the drink. So that's kind of like when I go to my frozen pick more of the time. But yeah, I love both. So before we dive into the top picks for your margaritas, can you share a little bit about the history of margaritas for our listeners? What is something that might surprise them about the origins of it?
Yeah, so of course, margaritas are made from agave. Agave is, a plant from Mexico, but no one can really pinpoint the history of this drink. There's multiple theories to it. And actually, if you go to Patron's website, they have different theories listed. So I went ahead and I did some research on that. So the first one mentions a socialite named Margarita Same. She reportedly, crafted this cocktail for her guests. Meanwhile, another theory is that it was originally called Tequila Daisy, which was a super popular cocktail in the 1930s, but it evolved to margarita because margarita means daisy in Spanish. Okay. Meanwhile, the third theory suggests that a bartender named the cocktail after a customer margarita who was allegedly allergic to all alcohol except tequila.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I found a fourth theory that was just a little bit closer to home. It has to do with Galveston. So a man was working in a studio lounge in Galveston, and the theory goes that he crafted it for a famous jazz singer who requested a tequila drink without a whole lot of mess in it. And as for the name, well, her husband called it the margarita because her name is short for Margaret.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of different theories floating around about it. But, us being Texans, I'm going to go with the one that's closer to home, So
yeah, me
we're going to take some credit for it.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think we should.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to margaritas, they're made with different forms of tequila. Like there's the classic margarita made with classic tequila. And then there's also margaritas that are made with mezcal and other liquors. So what should people know about that when they're looking on the menus and trying to figure out which flavors they're going for in their margarita?
Yeah, so all tequila is made basically mezcal. Mezcal is agave.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a subset of that. Think like Chardonnay compared to wine. That's what I would tell people. But mezcal is more smoky in its flavor, and the way that it's made is a little bit different than tequila. So you typically get tequilas that have all the same flavor palettes, I would say. I mean, obviously different brands, different high-end material, you'll find different things, but they all kind of have that relatively same taste, whereas mezcal is going to give you that smokier taste. So if you like an old-fashioned, you'll probably like a mezcal-based drink.
Okay, that's a good tip. I'm more of a not a smoky girl, so I probably would just go for the classic, but that is a good tip to know when I'm looking at the menu. Okay, so another thing about margaritas is that they're known for being a go-to drink just because they are delicious and refreshing, but also on the cheaper side, which is my favorite part about it. So when we're looking for margaritas around town, can you recommend some places that have some margaritas at a great price, but you still get a good feel?
Yeah, so I always tell people when they ask me this to go to Pistoleros. It's in Montrose.
Okay.
And you can make it as high end as you want or as cheap as you want. They have such a great selection of tequilas. They have infused drinks. You can make it your own. So you can really craft it to your taste buds, which is great. And then you can craft it to that dollar amount because let's be real, we are all kind of balling on a budget recently. It's a struggle out there, I will say. So yeah, I would say to go to Pistoleros in Montrose if you're really, really balling on a budget and want a great margarita and really want it to be crafted to your taste buds.
Can you break it down to me, how we're going from the lower prices to the higher prices? What are you adding in to get the price to go higher?
Yeah, so I think it all depends really on the tequila that you like. So you can go from Herradura to Patron to, I know people like 1942, just different things like that. I think it depends at Pistoleros based on the tequila that you use.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, what about this? When I go get margaritas, one thing that I hate is when they're overly syrupy, okay? I hate when I get a glass that is just full of sugar and I don't know, it just ruins the whole experience for me. So what about places that have a more refreshing margarita that's authentic and made with fresh ingredients?
Very glad you asked this. If you want traditional and simple, I always tell people to go for the perfect shaker margarita from Picos, the original Ninfarita from Ninfa's, or the greatest margarita from Hugo's, or an El Tiempo margarita. Those are all made very simple. They stick to the tradition. They stick to the usual of what a margarita is. You know, the tequila, the lime, the Cointreau. They keep it simple. You are not going to find all that syrup in it. And you're going to love it regardless if you get it on the rocks or frozen from these places.
Ooh, I do love El Tiempo's margaritas. I will say that. Anytime I go over there, I love to sit there with some chips and some guac because they have some really good chips and guac and they're fajitas also. So,
Yes.
that is really, they do have some amazing margaritas at El Tiempo. I can vouch for that one for sure. Okay, so how about this? A heavy hitter. When I say this, I mean one of those drinks that you go to the bar and you only just need one of them and you're good. You're already mellowed out for the day and you can just go home and chill. So you have any recommendations for that?
Yeah, so as I said in the beginning, my favorite drink, despite being an on-the-rocks girly, is a frozen margarita. And this frozen margarita is La Lucha Margarita. So La Lucha is in the Heights. This drink is made with mezcal, tequila blanco, hibiscus, lime. And those ingredients blend together to make the prettiest pink drink. So not only is it good, but it's also Instagrammable. With it being frozen, you can sip on it your whole meal, like you said earlier. And although you said you don't like that smoky taste with the mezcal, the hibiscus and the tequila and the lime, they just all evens it out so well. You don't even notice it. It is so good. And one of those will get you right. You will be totally fine with one and maybe having a little too much fun with two in your system.
That sounds like a really good pick. Another thing that I see a lot of restaurants that serve margaritas do nowadays is serve what some of them call the Cadillac margarita. And it has tequila and Grand Marnier in there. And it is delicious because the Grand Marnier, it sweetens the drink. So it's not too overly strong or anything like that. So I love to get that one for my heavy hitter days where I just want one drink and can go home. Or another option is Gringos. And their margaritas are so strong, y'all. You can only have 3 of them. Or it might be 2, honestly. There's a limit. You only can have either 2 or 3, and that's it. There's no more purchases in the establishment. So you know that it's a strong one, but they're also really good. So check Gringos out.
Awesome. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel that? It's the crystal clear waters of the Frio River flowing across your feet as the sun warms your back and the smell of wild sage breezes through from the hills of Garner State Park. That right there is the perfect Central Texas moment in Uvalde County. It's time to head west for a summer escape. Whether you're hiking under a painted Texas sky, floating around quiet river bends, or just breathing deep as you soak in the peace of the Texas Hill Country, this is a place to slow down, to play longer, and to laugh louder. Generations of Texans have found their peaceful escape in Uvalde County, and now it's your turn. Start planning your trip at visituvaldecounty.com. Uvalde County, escape to serenity. Follow the yellow brick road to the George Theater and let the adventure begin, because The Wizard of Oz the musical is playing live on stage at the George Theater from July 9th to August 10th. I can already hear myself singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow as I step into the land of Oz with Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion in this beloved classic. Here's the best part. They have sensory-friendly performances, closed caption performances, an all-ages performance on August 9th, and matinee and evening shows, as well as one double feature day where they'll screen the film. How cool is that? Do something special with your kids, friends, loved ones, or make it a solo date and check out The Wizard of Oz the musical at the George Theater. Tickets are going fast, so grab yours today at adplayers.org or call the box office at 713-526-2721.
I want to talk about a place that might have drinks that are a little bit more pricey, but are worth every penny, because sometimes spending that extra buck is worth it if the drink is really good. So do you have any recommendations for that?
Yeah, I would say that people tell me all the time that Candente is a little bit on the pricier side. I used to live in Montrose. I personally really love that restaurant. And I think that's a place where you can get a really great margarita. You can get it frozen, you can get it on the rocks, and you're going to enjoy your time there. And it's also another place where if you go and you have like 2, you're probably good. So you're not even going to spend that much. I mean, you'll be spending a little bit more, but you'll definitely get your bang for your buck with that place.
And so what would you say that listeners could expect to pay? Are they like the $15, $18, $20 margaritas? Is it kind of like that range?
With Candente, the house margarita is about $10 or $15, depending on the size you get. But you can make even better with the premium margarita, and that's $14 or $19. And if you want to personalize it to fit your flavor, you add $3 more and you completely make it your own. So yeah, it is a bit on the pricey side there.
Okay, yeah. That's not terrible pricing, but it is a little bit more expensive because you can get margaritas, like I said,
exactly,
10
yeah.
and 14 isn't too bad, especially if you can premium and upsize it. Yeah, that definitely sounds worth it. Now, I want to talk about a drink for listeners who don't drink. There are some people out here that just want to kind of go have like a mocktail with their friends, So are there any recommendations for a 0 proof mocktail that still has those margarita vibes?
So right now, I feel like a lot of people are trying that damp lifestyle or are going on a sober route, and kudos to them. Maybe one day I'll get there, but I'm pretty young, so I'm enjoying my time with these margaritas. But if you actually go to Winnie's in Midtown, they have a non-alcoholic margarita. It is made with seedlip agave, lime, orange, and salt. So it kind of has the tequila aspect of it because it has that agave, but it's non-alcoholic. So it's the perfect mocktail. It's $10 and you're good to go there. And it's nice and refreshing as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It sounded super refreshing when you were describing it. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
So for all the people that don't drink, you can just go and act like you are with your friends if you want to.
Yeah.
So as the food editor for Houstonia Magazine, tell me what it was like doing this margarita taste testing for this article. This sounds like it had to be a lot of fun, so I'm just wondering what it was like.
Yeah, so it was really funny. Actually, me and my editor-in-chief came together and we kind of were able to craft the list already based on our experiences, if that just shows you how much we go out to eat and how much we like to indulge on margaritas. But I will say it was really fun getting to speak to these restaurants and finding out more about them because, you go and you just drink them. You don't even think about the presentation, the ingredients behind it, why it makes it this color or why it has this flavor to it. So I think the most fun part of it, despite loving the taste of it, was actually getting to speak to these restaurants and find out what makes their margarita their margarita.
Yeah, I love that because it makes it even more special to know what goes into it.
Exactly.
Was there anything that was surprising that you found out while you were there and talking to these restaurants about what they were putting in their margaritas?
So El Patio in Greater Uptown, their blue margarita takes their house margarita recipe and then adds the blue curacao to it. And so they actually, though, would not tell me their house margarita recipe. So keeping it under wraps to me was super interesting. I'm like, ooh, what are you hiding? It kind of reminded me of, SpongeBob or something.
That is too funny. I went to Papado's one time and they have I think it's their hurricane. So it's not a margarita, but it's their hurricane. And they were like, yeah, it has a secret ingredient. And I was just like, okay, what is it? I was like, if I guess it, will you tell me? And so I guess it was Kool-Aid in it. And so I just thought that was so random that they had Kool-Aid in a Papado's mixed drink. It was actually crazy. But yeah, so I'm wondering what it is. It might be some Kool-Aid or just something around the house that's just random,
Yeah, and now the whole world knows this about Papado.
Yeah. Look, hopefully I don't get in trouble. But they told me.
Yeah, it's on them. It's okay.
Yeah, it's on them. Okay. So to wrap up, I want to ask you this, and this one might be the hardest question, but what is your perfect food pairing for a margarita? And I'm taking chips and guac off the table, okay?
Chips and guac off the table. That's fine, I think, because my perfect pairing with this would be a good tacos al carbon taco. I love tacos al carbon, but I do have to put in there guacamole. So I'll have my fajitas, I'll have my guac, I'll have my pico. But I just think that is the perfect combination for me. What's yours?
Yeah. I would probably say fajitas. I'm a fajita girl. I love fajitas. Or even nachos. I do a good hearty, meaty nacho to eat with it as well. So it has to be between those two.
Those are good choices. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sofia.
Thank you.
That was Sofia Gonzalez. You can read all of her stories and recommendations for food and travel at Houstonia Magazine. Also, check out the show notes for links to all of the margaritas mentioned on the show today. Now, I know a cold drink sounds great, but it's even better with friends. So share this episode with 3 of your friends so you can plan your next meetup. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get fresh episodes every day in your podcast feed. And if you're a longtime listener, drop us a rating and review wherever you're listening right now. Want more food news, Houston events, and more? Check out our daily newsletter, Hey Houston, with the info in our show notes. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Rahil Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and please drink responsibly.
Margaritas are also, wait, I'm on the wrong part. Let me see 1 second.